Hello and welcome to Stories from the View, a podcast from the Pleasant View Senior Center in East Longmeadow, Massachusetts. On this podcast, we invite East Longmeadow residents to tell us their stories about their lives and events. And today's guest is Nan Hurlburt from Scantic River Artisans, among other things. And here is your host for this week, Ed Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Eric. Good morning, Nan.
Good morning, Ed.
So, about, 6 months or so ago, there was an art exhibit here at the Senior Center. And I decided that I was going to become more serious about my photography. And so I printed some of my photos, was in the exhibit. It went well. And someone there said, you should check out this artists group in Hamden, Scantic River Artisans. So that's what I did. And I signed up and I met you. And you are the president of Scantic River Artisans.
I am.
And so I thought our listeners would like to know all about that organization, what it does and how it does it and who can join and that sort of thing. So if you could
I'm happy to add that information.
Good.
So Scantic River Artisans actually is a very old group. It started about 30 years ago, and it was a very small group contained just in Hamden, made up of about a dozen artists who lived out in the backwoods, and they got together and formed the group, and it was very small. They did little shows. They were housed in the Historical Society on Main Street. And they really didn't have any goals or ambitions. It was more or less a get-together for this little community of artists. They did do a couple of shows housed in the Historical Society and a few more other things. When I moved to Hamden about 13 years ago, I was looking for an art group, and somebody suggested that I go to this gathering. So I did, and I met the 12. And at that point, the woman who was heading up the group was very ill, a lovely woman, Dorothy Fritz. And some of the members said, well, hey, based on your background and who you are, and I guess my reputation preceded me, they said, could you take over as interim president while Dorothy recovered from her illness? And I said, well, I don't know anybody here and I don't know anybody in Hamden, so sure, I'll just jump right in. So I did, and unfortunately, we lost Dorothy. So the group was kind of evolving, and I wasn't really sure it had any direction whatsoever. And so I suggested to the members that we reach out and change the organization from where it was originally. So in 2014, we reorganized. Up until that point, it was basically just artists, just painters. And there wasn't really a criteria for how to join the group or what the group, they had no mission, et cetera. So myself and about 6 of the original members came up with the mission statement and a direction that we were going to go in. And we decided to open it up to all artisans, not just oil painters specifically. So we are very fortunate to have grown the group over the last several years to, I believe right now we're at 76 members, and which includes all artisans from fine crafts, photographers, fine art painters. And so it's a very lively group.
So you mentioned mission. The mission statement. What is the mission of the group?
When we reorganized, we felt that it was imperative that we reach out into the community and make the community aware of the artists in the area and to become a vital part of the communities and the surrounding communities, to introduce art to people who might not have ever been introduced to certain types of art. In doing that, we also came up with one of our parts of our organization, which is called interactive learning through art. And that's an ever evolving piece of the puzzle where we bring programs to the community, invite the community in to participate in a hands-on of what it means to do a certain type of art, which has been really a lot of fun. So that's another part of the group that I'm very proud of that, is reaching out.
And a good example of that is an upcoming program.
Yes. On November 2nd, we have silk scarf painting, which is fascinating. It's being done by Laura Salerno, who is an amazing potter in our group, and she runs Mud Puddle Pottery. And she is doing the demo. We did this earlier on, and it was so popular, we actually had to turn people away. So we had actually the first time over 30 people painting these beautiful silk scarves.
Wow. Who would have thought?
I know.
I never thought of that as being something.
And so the thing that makes it so exciting is we have, in the last presentation that we did of this, we had people in there that were anywhere from age 8 all the way up to very seniors. So to me, that's very exciting when you bring that whole diverse group of people together and you get the synergy of what happens in that. So very exciting program coming up on November 2nd.
So there's a program each month or every other month?
Every other month.
Every
yes.
other month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we've just, our board of directors has just gotten together and scheduled the 2024. And that information will be coming out somewhere in the mid-November range for what the programs will be for 2024.
Okay. And the location of these classes?
Yes. We feel extremely fortunate. Several years ago, I approached Becky Moriarty, who's the director at Hampden Senior Center, about housing Scantic River Artisans as our home base. And Becky was thrilled with the prospect of doing that. And again, that's another part of reaching out into the community. So of the hundreds of people that visit the Hampden Senior Center on a weekly basis, all of our galleries there, all of the walls in the Senior Center are decorated with art from Scantic River Artisans.
So the Senior Center is a location.
It is. It's our home base.
Which the home base.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not a seniors only activity.
Oh, absolutely not. We have members in our group that range in age currently from 14 all the way up to, I believe our oldest member is in their 80s. So yes, open to all age groups, all types of art, all genres as well.
So exhibits?
Yes. So a very exciting time of year for us, which is coming up, is our adjudicated show. So that is going to be in November, and we've selected our judges, and our official drop-off date for artwork is November 9th, and we do our adjudication on the 11th, and the exhibit is on the 18th and the 19th of November. Mm-hmm. So we selected our judges. We use 3 judges for the show, and each genre is judged within its own criteria.
Okay, so this is a juried show, what
Absolutely.
They call a juried show,
yeah.
which was a new term to me, being new to this. So an artist submits their work.
Yes.
The judges look at it and decide what will be exhibited.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It's very exciting. during our reorganization of the group, we also came up with the criteria for how to adjudicate the show. I mean, I'm a longtime artist and I've entered many, many shows over the years. And so we wanted to be very specific about our adjudication process, not limiting the judges, because obviously we hire judges for this purpose, but just so that we have, so that if people want to know how things are done, there is a criteria for that. And of course, we give the judges that criteria, and it's a process that we work through. So each group of types of art, as an example, all oil painters come in, and that group is judged on its own merits, and a first, second, third prize is awarded. And in some instances, at the juror's discretion, they might choose to do an honorary mention as well. So in each category. And then there are cash prizes for all of those categories.
Nice.
Know.
Nice.
Helps you buy art supplies.
There we go. So if someone would like to enter, an artist would like to enter this upcoming show, there will be some information available.
Yes. So the call to artists go out this week, and that is delivered to all of the art groups in the area. It's also publicly on display in several locations throughout the area, and it will be available on our website for download. So the form just needs to be filled out. The artwork needs to be delivered to the Senior Center at 104 Allen Street in Hampden on November 9th, and that is from 9 a.m. in the morning till 7 p.m. at night. So all artwork is welcome. And if it is a piece of artwork that is hung or a painting, it needs to be wire hung.
I learned that lesson.
You did.
The right way to wire your work. So there's the classes, there's the exhibits. There are, I know right now over at Trinity Church, the community room there has Scantic River Artisans work on display. It's been on display for the month of October.
It has, and very exciting. It's a beautiful exhibit space, and we're very thankful for Trinity for inviting us in. Several artists sold pieces there, which is also very exciting. Keeps us buying supplies. And so, yes, and that exhibit changes out on the 29th.
Okay. So they're joining the organization comes at a cost.
It does.
Do you want to share that cost?
I sure will. So we have two types of memberships. We have a full membership, and that is like $25, $45. I'm like, I've got to look that up. I'm like, so all that information is on the website under the membership area. So a full membership gives you access to our 3 shows annually at no cost. It gives you a space on the website. It gives you several perks along the way. And then there is a second level of membership, which doesn't offer all of those perks, but offers some reduced fees on there. And as a full member, you also are included in one of our groups and to become an active part of the organization, which I find is the exciting part. So joining a committee and actually seeing the inner works of how an organization works, or if you have input and exciting ideas, then that's always a great part of it. And then if you choose that in your life, you don't have the time to become a member or an associate member, then you're more than welcome to exhibit. There's just a fee associated with that, particularly for the adjudicated show.
So let's see. I am looking at the website. Yeah, so the full membership is $35.
And that's annually.
Annually. Right. Yes, $35. A very reasonable price, I would say.
It is.
So I was in the first show. I covered that and beyond, just with selling 2 pieces in the first show. So, and I've personally have found the benefit too is just being with other people, other creative people,
Absolutely.
other artists, seeing what other ideas people come up with and how they do them, and just learning what other types of art are all about. I find that part of it very interesting.
I'm very proud of that. Over the years, I've belonged to lots of different art groups. And, one of my mandates as president is to make sure that we are very inclusive, that we meet new members, that we, as artists, we talk to them, we engage them and make them feel welcome in sharing what they have to share with the group and the communities.
Now, let me just mention the website, ScanticRiverArtisans.com.
Yes.
So ScanticRiverArtisans.com, the website, has all the information about the organization, has the membership form, has the schedule of classes, exhibits, and so that would be anyone who's interested in finding out more can go there. It'll also is an email address that they can, on there, I think it's info@,
yes.
and ScanticRiverArtisans.com. So if someone just wants to come and look at the exhibits, the community is welcome to do that.
Absolutely.
Right?
There is no fee ever. I was adamant about that. The communities and all the surrounding communities are welcome. It's not limited to any age group. We are handicap access. We have wonderful parking lot. We have all of our restrooms are handicap access. So open to the public. And welcome and come and see all of the diverse, beautiful pieces of artwork.
So you mentioned something about your past experience as an artist. So why don't you tell us more about what your art is all about?
Having lived to this very nice age, I've gone through 5 iterations of different phases in my life. So I've always drawn from a very early age and always painted. And also I was, as a very young person, a very avid seamstress as well, creating and designing my own garments and wedding gowns and prom gowns from the age of 7 on up. So, so I took all of those skill sets and thrills to me, which is the painting and the drawing and designing and creating, and went to school and became a fashion designer and designed for many companies in dance and fashion and sports, and turned that into a full-fledged woman-owned manufacturing facility of 40,000 square feet with 150 employees.
Wow. That is impressive.
Did that for many years, over 28 years. And then was fortunate enough to sell that company to a firm out in Los Angeles. So that phase ended. I did lots of designing for historical garments, designing for publishing houses, worked with some very famous book illustrators, a very famous local, Ruth Sanderson, who's an amazing illustrator, did lots of work with Ruth, and she's a wonderful person, designing historical garments for that. And then came back to painting again. Was out on the road as a consultant for many years, and then moved back to the Hamden area. And that's where I actually came into the group by just looking around going, okay, I don't know anyone anymore in this area. So how do I introduce myself to the area? And so here I am.
Now, you have something to do with jewelry.
I do.
Right now,
I do. So as not only getting involved in the Scantic River Artisans and, getting that group vital in where it is today, but also I was the activities person at the senior center for over 10 years, bringing activities and dinner dances and all kinds of functions to the center, which was so fun. Finally retired from that. And one of my hobbies was, as a designer, was designing jewelry. And so I wanted to put a little bit more time into that. So I designed a line, tangledfinejewelry.com.
Good.
And have been taking that on the road. And I have a love of wine. So that line is inspired by my love of wine. So we call it Grapely Inspired.
Nice.
And so we're out at wineries throughout New England and showing the line and drinking fine wine and having a good time.
What a combination.
I know.
So it's Tangled.
Tangledfinejewelry.com.
Okay. Tangledfinejewelry.com
Yes.
is the website. Okay. Good. And your daughter-in-law is involved with the jewelry as well.
Well, and I'm going to say she got me hooked on jewelry design because she's a gemologist. And it's a fascinating, I guess from a design perspective, fascinating to learn all about the gems and what they mean and what they stand for and how you can incorporate those into your well-being and your lifestyle. And so that's just a fascinating part of discovering jewelry design and what it can do and what it can mean to people.
Nice. So I think you had mentioned something to me about teaching.
Yeah.
You do in your spare time?
In my spare time, yes. So I also love teaching. And I think that came from, in my factory, we had 11 languages. So teaching people from 11 different backgrounds and 11 languages how to sew and how to create garments I didn't realize I had this skill set. I'm like, oh my God. So it really, really just enhanced my love of teaching people and how exciting that is. So I started teaching acrylic painting, and I've been doing that for about 10 years. And I do that. I've done it in various locations, but currently I'm teaching at Hamden on Thursdays, 2 classes there. And on Tuesdays, I'm at Providence Place, and I teach all day there. And that's a wonderful group there and very exciting. And then I also teach at my home studio and several classes there. And several years ago, pre-COVID, I was asked by an agent to teach watercolor painting aboard cruise ships. So I did that for several years as well.
Oh, I like that.
And of course, COVID put a stop to all of that. But, who knows? Who knows? I might be on a cruise ship soon. But I love teaching, and I love that experience of seeing someone discover something about theirself, which is the exciting part.
So if there are any aspiring artists out there listening, Scantic River Artisans is a place that they should check out, or an organization they should check out. Again, the website is scanticriverartisans.com. And the upcoming event is the juried show.
Mm-hmm. And I should mention the jurors because we're very excited to have Jennifer Zara, who happens to be the chair at Minnechaug Regional High School, the art chair. She will be one of our judges. Jim Gillen, I would say his name incorrectly, Gillian, who's an amazing photographer. So Ed, you'll like to see.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to be on the spot.
You'll be on the spot for that one. And Barbara Croft, who is an internationally known pastelist, won many, many awards. So we're very excited to have this tier of judges come in and adjudicate the work that's going to be presented to them.
Wonderful. So the dates on that?
The dates on that are the drop-off date is November 9th from 9 in the morning until 7 at night. So we wanted to be inclusive and make sure we were able to get people who were still working to be able to deliver their artwork. And also I should mention you may exhibit up to 3 pieces.
Okay.
And the adjudication, which is closed, very private, the judges on November 11th. And then the actual exhibit itself is on November 18th and 19th. And on November 18th, the exhibit at Hamden Senior Center, 104 Allen Street, is at 2 in the afternoon till 7 p.m. There's going to be wine and cheese and crackers and music. So that's a wonderful event. You get to meet the artist. I always encourage all of the artists to come to the exhibit, because part of the exciting part is for the people that come to meet the artists and engage in conversation and engage in what inspired them to do that particular piece of art. And on the 19th, the exhibit is from 11 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. And then after that, the galleries at the Senior Center are open daily from 9 to 3. So anyone can come in anytime and see the artwork in the galleries. But do come to the exhibit, because it's very exciting to meet the artist and see what's going on there.
Yeah, I found that to be a great experience, being there with my art and having the conversations. And it was an aspect of exhibits that I'd never really appreciated until I actually was participating. Like that. So, well, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much, Nan, for being here with us.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I always love to talk about Scantic River Artisans.
Good. So that wraps up another episode of Stories from the View. We'd like to thank our guest, Nan Hurlburt. The Stories from the View podcast is available on the LCAT 01028 channel on YouTube. If you have a story you'd like to share, contact Pleasant View Senior Center Director Erin Kobler by stopping by the center or calling 413-525-5436, extension 1401, or sending an email to Erin Kobler at eastlongmeadowma.gov. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time at Stories from the View.